Hello friends, welcome back and Happy New Year. Today I want to talk more about transferring our consciousness and also introduce a new word, pattern keeper. Pattern keeper is in the dictionary, and listed below is a link that you can click on and request a dictionary, and I will be happy to send it to you. It is a dictionary of terms that I'm using now, way that I'm redefining words. So the word that we're working with today is pattern keeper. These are avatars that exist below the paradise sun level, who are the ones that created our divine blueprints for our galaxy. So pattern keepers are avatars that are in 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, and even here. And they are avatars that have the ability to adjust and tweak the patterns that are inside the blueprint. And I have experienced this, so this is why I'm talking about it. I only try to present things I've had personal experiences with, and they're my interpretations of these experiences that I'm having. So in this particular one, I have a body that is similar to this one, but much more advanced, that I can transfer my consciousness or bilocate my consciousness into this other body. And that body is going on board a Syrian ship in current time. So when I'm on this ship, there's a room that looks a lot like the holodeck on Star Trek Next Generation, with all the grid before there's a program. And when you go in there, you can touch where one of these points on the grid meets, and it opens up a piece of information that comes out about a pattern. So this is a library that is stored of all the different kinds of patterns that are available to manipulate or to take out or to put in our blueprint, in our density. And so if you are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th density, those pattern keepers have access to those densities. There are higher densities, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and those patterns and that blueprint is much more expansive. And the beings in these higher densities can create bodies by thought and manifest them instantly, and they can maintain their consciousness in multiple bodies, some up to 7 that I've seen, and be fully integrated into all of those bodies operating simultaneously. So that's way up there, but we're down here. So in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, what I have come to understand from my own experience is the bilocations that we do is that we're holding two bodies in one consciousness. Now, there may be other beings in the 5th dimension that can hold more than 2. I'm just speaking of my personal experience. So when I bilocate into that body, there is probably, I'm just using a number, 30% that is still in this body in a deep sleep or in a deep meditation. But most of my conscious focus is bilocated somewhere else. And when I'm in this other body, I'm extremely smart. That body that I've been operating in quite often now is much more intelligent than me. She knows everything about the ship. Well, she knows a lot about the Syrian ship and its navigation, and she goes into this library and she knows a lot about the patterns and what's working and what's not working. And she's understanding 3rd, 4th, and 5th patterns for the blueprints that not only humans are using, but also extraterrestrials. So this is what I've been doing. And this is what, at this moment in time, I believe where I will be going when I make transition and I drop this body. I will take my consciousness and transfer 100% of my consciousness into that body. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying transferring consciousness. It is an entirely different idea than reincarnation. Reincarnation, just for the time being, while we're working with these teachings, just let that go. Because the idea of being born in a body, living a whole life, dying, coming right back, having all your memories erased, having to start as a baby again, having to start to learn to walk all over again, start all over again, live a life, die, have it totally erased, come back again, don't know anything, start over again, and continuously repeat this on a historical line, reincarnation, is just not where it's at, okay? Where it's at is that our blueprints are designed to expand our consciousness beyond third. Our blueprint is designed to hold third, fourth, and fifth density or frequency consciousness. Now, many of the disciples that have incarnated at this time, see my 7 levels, that's another video. Many of the disciples that are incarnating at this time already have access to 4th and 5th density. They love Star Trek and Star Wars. They integrate the ideas of space travel and high technology easily because maybe they don't realize it, but they are beginning to operate in these other densities. And these other densities are where all the extraterrestrials are and interdimensional beings. These densities, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, are high technology densities. The 4th and 5th, as I've said before, are telepathic. And they're very intelligent, and their science is way beyond us. And so what is occurring, if we will allow ourselves the opportunity to experience some new ideas, is that we have an option of experiencing more than one body while we're alive right here, but also not only more than one body, because over all my life I've been going into different kinds of bodies. And some of that may have been testing what I might be most compatible with. Some of it might have been for my own education. But I seem to have settled in right now on this one that I'm talking about, being a pattern keeper. And I believe when I pass now from this body, I will move into that body, which is a pattern keeper. For up to about 6th density, I believe. So what I want us to begin to do is to begin to accept the idea that we have options, that death is not a mystery. It's never been a mystery. And that you don't forget who you are, like in the old concept of reincarnation. You consciously transfer your memories and what is known as your consciousness from one kind of physical body to another kind of sensory physical type body. It's a transfer. And some ETs are doing this already with cloning. They transfer their whole consciousness. They just download it into a new clone and just keep going. I mentioned this in my video on ETs and how they're influencing humanity. So transferring consciousness is something that extraterrestrials know all about. It's time we began to accept this idea that our consciousness is not part of the physical body. Our consciousness is attached to the blueprint. The blueprint is multidimensional, and the blueprint is what your soul gives you, and it creates a blueprint designed for your path, which is designed to keep growing and to keep going. And so what I have learned at this time is that most of the blueprints for us right now are easily accessible 3rd, 4th, and 5th densities. So if we will allow ourselves the option of entertaining this, then in the next video, because I'm going to try and make these a little shorter because sometimes I can talk 30 and 40 minutes, so I'm trying to shorten this one down. In the next video, we'll talk about lucid dreaming and some astral traveling and some things you can do to start right now, to start allowing this idea to start working with your consciousness, because there are many extraterrestrials out there who would like to work with the disciple level consciousness humans after death and like to work with them right now and communicate with you right now. But especially if you can begin to allow them to take you on their ships and allow them to start working with you in the dream planes and allowing you to have other body, and you'll be amazed when you're in these other bodies. You're very smart, you're brilliant, And if you will allow yourself to inhabit these other bodies and begin to work with these beings, you will be offered an option, as I mentioned in that other video on the extraterrestrials influencing us. You will be offered options to go with them after you've left this body. You'll just stay in that body. When this body drops, whatever percentage is still left here until the absolute severing, all of that will just, if it's 30%, because the rest of you is already over there, the last little bit of you will simply release the body and just completely integrate into that other body. You're consciously transferring your consciousness and your sense of self to another place and another density in another type of body. This is how it's done. It's done easily in the other realms, and there's no mystery, there's no fear about dying. You are making conscious choices because as an avatar, you have free will. You're not supposed to be left in the dark about, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know who I am, I don't know what's out there. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You are supposed to know who you are. You are a multidimensional being capable of traveling in other expanded awarenesses of the galaxy, expanded awarenesses of who you are, more abilities, the telepathic abilities, bilocation abilities, dematerialization, manifesting things from thought. I mean, there's all kinds of abilities out there that you have it in your blueprint to do. So the next few lectures we're going to be talking about getting going with this now. If you are here and you are listening to this, you are probably someone who has had some kind of experience, or you are understanding what I'm talking about and are willing to start talking to your own I am presence, your God self, or your blueprint, because your blueprint is been delivered to you by your I am presence, your soul. And you can say to your blueprint or to God or your I am self, I'm ready to receive higher information about who I am. I'm ready to experience other realities other than this one. I'm ready to become more than I am right now. And so I want to leave you with that idea. We transfer consciousness. This is how it's done in the higher realms. There's no dying, forgetting who you are, starting over again as a baby, not knowing anything about where you're going, who you are, or what's happening. No, it's all designed to have consciousness transfer from one experience to another experience to another experience, keeping the memories. Now, when I say that, I will just say quickly before we leave, when I'm in that higher body and I'm working in the pattern keeping mode with that ship, and also I use this body on Earth, and I use this body in other experiences. I've been using this higher body that's around 5th and 6th dimension off and on quite a bit now. That's why I'm saying I believe this is the main one I will probably use. But when I'm in that, it's a good maybe 70 to 80% of me there. I don't know how much is left behind to monitor the body. Maybe it's only 10%, the body that's resting. But when I'm there, I am totally focused on what I'm doing. And I am very intelligent, and I know what's going on, and I know what to do with the patterns, and I'm learning things about it. Now, while I'm still up there, I am aware that I am also either in deep meditation or a sleeping mode in my earth body. I have an awareness. This is what I'm talking about, holding two conscious points at one time. I have an awareness of both situations, but I am predominantly anchored in one, and the other has to be resting for me right now. I don't have the ability to have both of them up and operating independently of each other and holding the full consciousness, 100% in each one. There are beings that can do that. I mentioned that. In the higher realms, they can hold up to 7. And in these 5th dimension, 6th dimension bodies, some of them can hold 2 fully and be able to work them. And a lot of them, or at least a lot of them I've been talking to, generally have one resting or in meditation and one fully operating maybe 80 or 90%, the other is resting. And that's what I have been working to do. But I am aware of both. because you're conscious. You're not unconscious. You don't forget your other self. You know all yourself. And so I want to leave you with these ideas, and please subscribe to the channel and click the little bell so you'll be notified when the next video is coming out. And please come to my Facebook page as well. There's a lot of conversation going on there. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.